I'm so excited because today I'm going to be giving you guys a tour of all of my plant babies. I know this isn't the typical pet videos that I do, but I am uploading this as an extra upload, so I thought you guys wouldn't mind too much. I started collecting plants March of 2020, and that was when I moved into my condo where I have these awesome giant windows so that I'm able to provide all of these plants good lighting. A lot of people don't realize that plants have specific needs to each different type of plant. A lot of people just think you water a plant and give it sunlight and that's it, when it's not. Every single plant in here is so different from the other one. Some need a lot of humidity, some do not like humidity at all, some need to have their soil be consistently moist. Don't like that word. Some prefer to have their soil dry out and be dry for a while, and some need direct sunlight, some need indirect, so there's a lot of different things each plant needs. So I'm going to give you guys the tour now. I know I have at least over 30 plants, but I don't know the exact number. So first, I'm going to show you the plants behind me in this corner. This first plant here is a Christmas cactus that was given to me by my mom, and this was in a south direct window for a little while, so you can see the burnt tips of it, but it has come back with a lot of growth since moving over here. Next we have this beautiful money tree. As you can see, the leaves are getting quite large. For anyone who buys a money tree like this in the store, check around the base of the roots. Sometimes they will have rubber bands that can choke off the plant and prevent it from getting nutrients. So make sure you check and clip that. Mine and my mother's both had rubber bands on them. Next I have a lipstick plant, and this was grown from a cutting from my mom, and I've already actually clipped it to make it thicker, as you can see, and this yellow thing here is for gnats. Next I have two lollipop plants. These things grow like weeds. There's baby ones growing out of both of these pots already. I've already given my mom one, and she has clipped off 3 and then also given it to someone, so these plants grow like bananas. Then I have a very sad looking orchid. It didn't have the best start of life. It was left in a hot car for too long, and so it originally had gotten sunburned, and then after that I had it in a south-facing window and it got sunburned a bit, but it's actually doing quite well now. There's a lot of roots coming in and new leaves that are not sunburned, so it's doing a lot better. I have 3 plant hangers above me, and one of them contains a spider plant. This is a plant that a lot of hamster owners actually put in their cage because it is safe for hamsters to chew. I preferably care too much about my plants and would not like to see a hamster destroy it, so that is why I don't use plants in my hamsters' cages. In the other plant hanger, I have this one. It's called a TRADESCANTIA. I'm terrible with pronouncing names, so I'll just leave it on screen, but it is a beautiful purple pink type of vine. I haven't had the best luck with it, but it seems to be doing decent. And then above me in the large hanging basket, I have a beautiful Hoya that my mom propagated off of her own plant, and it is just growing like a weed. To my left of me, I have a west facing window, and in that window I have 3 plants. The first one I have here is a rubber plant who has just put out a brand new leaf for me, and that is beautiful. I absolutely love this plant. And then I have an American rubber plant, and this actually is from the same family as the lollipop plants that I have, which is really interesting because they look nothing alike. And then I have my prayer plant. This is such an interesting plant, and honestly this one is doing so well. It keeps sprouting little tiny flowers, which the prayer plant puts out these tiny insignificant flowers, and I keep clipping them because I would rather it put out leaves, but it just keeps blooming. Then to the right of me, you can see this big beautiful beauty. This is a birds of paradise, and I'm absolutely obsessed with birds of paradise simply because they can get as tall as my ceiling, and I'm excited for that day. So this one right here is a ginseng ficus, and a lot of people often mistake these for bonsais, but if you are in the bonsai community, I think everyone will hate you if you call this a bonsai. Then I have a crouton, don't know how to pronounce it, and this one actually had spider mites, but it has regained its strength and it's grown back a lot of its leaves. And then I have a spineless yucca. This actually was found in Superstore. Someone had put it in the craft dinner aisle on the top, and I snatched it as soon as I saw it. Then I have my snake plant here, and it is just such a fast grower. I've already split it once to give to my mom, but it's just growing so fast. And then I have my baby sun rose, which is growing massive. This started out as a teeny tiny plant from a greenhouse, and it's gotten so big. I've already clipped it down once, but I'm thinking I'm going to clip it again before winter because it's a monster, and I'm sure the roots are scary looking. In the other corner of the room, I have a 3-pot hanger, and on the bottom I have this silver sprinkles, and this also is part of the same family as the lollipop plants and American rubber plant. Then above that one, I have this goldfish Marlene, and I love the backs of these leaves. They're just so pretty. And then just at the top, I have a common ivy. Then on my desk, I have 3 plants. I have an orchid that actually is doing well. I've already clipped it back because it stopped blooming for this season. Then I have a coleus, which really does not belong on my desk because it really definitely needs more sunlight, but it has beautiful watermelon coloring and it's so pretty. And then in this little bunny pot I think it's called an AEONIUM, and I've absolutely neglected it. Over on this side of the room I have another birds of paradise. This is actually in the same pot as the other one, but I needed to split them before they absolutely wrecked each other. And just above me, I have a golden pothos, and I do have a moss pole in there for it to climb. If you are a beginner with plants, a pothos is a very good starter plant for you. In this small west window here, I have what I recently discovered as a baby Monstera deloche plant. Originally the greenhouse had labeled it as a philodendron split leaf, which once I researched a bit about philodendron split leaves, I didn't find that much on them, and most places just call these monsteras. But the reason it doesn't have its splits in the leaves is because it is a young monstera, and monsteras don't typically tend to get their splits until they're about 2 to 3 years old. Then coming into my bedroom, this is where I have my other south-facing windows, so a lot of my succulents and cactuses live in here. The first boy I have here is my fiddle leaf fig, and this one tried to die on me when I very first brought him home, and I was nearly close to throwing him away, and then all of a sudden he dripped water on my bed. All of a sudden he grew a million leaves. So he has grown about 12 new leaves in the summer season. As you can see, he's pretty big. Then next I have my hibiscus, and this one is very sad and very expensive. This is my most expensive plant yet. I paid $40. I'm not good with hibiscuses apparently, but I think he's making a recovery, so we'll hope and pray. And then I have my little pot of string of pearls, and I'm actually very surprised at how fast they have been growing. So here I have this set of 3 tiny terracotta pots, and these house some of my succulents that I've grown from a single leaf. This one is looking not so great because he needed some water, so I finally watered him today. And then these 2 here are the exact same, and I actually propagated these off of a friend's plant back in 2017, so they've been really slow growing. Then I have a springtime crassula, and this thing is going wild. I'm likely going to need to either split it or get a bigger pot because, as you can see, it's full. Then we have this succulent here, and actually this was from the mom plant. The mom plant unfortunately kicked the bucket, and she left me with 3 children, so they've actually grown so much, and I love their growth they've made. Next I have a little bunny ears cactus, but this is a singular ear cactus because he only has 1 ear currently. Then I have a string of buttons. I also kind of propagated the original plant because it was dying, but now we have these babies and they're doing so good. I have another bunny ears cactus, except this one is got little orange for its spikies, and I honestly have a love-hate relationship with these guys because they stab me. Then I have a golden barrel cactus, and this guy's really cool because he's growing a bunch of other tiny cactuses off of him, so I'm going to be loaded with cactuses. I have a perfect example of a bunny ears cactus who actually looks like a bunny, but not for long because he's growing a little friend on his back. Then I have a split rock, and this guy is super cool looking. Then I have a pearl plant. I think this one is getting too big for the pot as well. And last but not least, I have 2 mother of thousands plants that started off as these teeny tiny babies, and I gave my mom some, and she used the soil from her garden and I used potting soil. Mine started to die while hers was thriving, so I decided to steal the dirt that she has, which, to be completely honest, the dirt that she has from her garden is like literal concrete. It gets wet and then it hardens into a concrete brick. So these plants thrive in the worst dirt possible. So those are all of the plants I have as of right now. I'm scared for winter to come because likely some are going to not tolerate the conditions, but I hope they all survive. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! Spikes. There's a fly. Doesn't, oh my gosh, there's a new leaf coming in! I didn't see that. Planter hanger. I have a 3 plant hanger. Okay. Beautiness. It's what?